Have you ever thought about what if these three continents, Africans, Europeans, and Americans, are one country? What would really happen? Let's quickly look at these three continent cultures and believe. Talking about Africans as a consequence, the cultures and the physical variations of the peoples reflect adaptation to both hot, dry climates and hot, wet climates. Dark skin is the dominant characteristic of indigenous African peoples, but remember that skin color is not uniform. Now about the culture of Europe is rooted in the art, architecture, film, different types of music, economic, literature, and philosophy that originated from the continent of Europe. European culture is largely rooted in what is often referred to as its common cultural heritage. Native American cultures across the United States are notable for their wide variety and diversity of lifestyles, regalia, art forms and beliefs. The culture of indigenous North America is usually defined by the concept of the pre-Columbia culture area, namely a geographical region where shared cultural traits occur. So here is what will happen if these three continents becomes one country. There will be peace in everywhere, and this is how they can achieve the peacefulness in 10 different ways. Number 1. They will bring about true equality between women and men. The larger a country's gender gap, the more likely it is to be involved in violent conflict. When women participate in peace processes, peace is more likely to endure. Number 2. They will start by stamping out exclusion. Evidence shows that conflict happens in places where people can't trust the police or get access to justice. And governments everywhere will stop the neglect, abuse and stigmatization of their own people. Number 3. There will be wealth share out fairly. According to a World Bank survey, 40% of those who join rebel groups do so because of a lack of economic opportunities. Relative poverty is just as important, with more equal societies marked by high levels of trust and low levels of violence. Number 4. Then we will tackle climate change. Ecological stress from global warming is proven to exacerbate conflicts over resources such as land and water, particularly in East Africa. For all its shortcomings, the UN Climate Agreement is evidence that the world can tackle and mitigate crises by cooperation. Number 5. They will be control of arms sales. The promotion of arms sales and heavy spending on aggressive military capabilities is heightening global tensions. The proliferation of arms drives conflict and makes violence more likely. Number 6. They will be less display of hubris and making more policy change. A look at the track record of counter-terrorism, the war on drugs, stabilization and state-building efforts and colonial wars shows a pattern of largely very sobering failure. Number 7. They will be protective political space. If governments expect young, marginalized people to embrace an open society rather than pursue more violent and vengeful paths, they must allow public dissent across the world, and the political spectrum. Number 8. They will fix intergenerational relations. Much conflict can be understood as a youth revolt against established corrupt systems run by, generally, older men. In countries with strict age hierarchies, young people can't voice their frustrations, which creates a dangerous dynamic. Number 9. They have to build an integrated peace movement. Short-term anti-war movements have taken the place of active and permanent peace movements. Number 10. Look within yourself. Peace starts with you. Ordinary citizens can make a difference. When's the last time you said sorry? Think about who loses when you win. Are the people around you heard and respected or marginalized? Ignored and left out? Make a decision to care about what happens to them. Start a constructive conversation with someone you disagree with. See you at the other side of Stango's World video coming up soon. Subscribe.